Welcome to the Stand Like Men podcast. I am Logan Ingram.
And I'm Daniel Trollenberg.
And I'm a little sick today, so my voice is a little bit off. But we are here. We are gathered here today after this joyous holiday Christmas season and right between Christmas and New Year. And we're trying to learn what it means to be biblical Christian men. This is a great time of year to really test those theories and boundaries of of our masculinity and biblicality, whatever you want to call it.
I think that's right.
That's a good way.
Yes.
That's a new word. Biblicality.
Biblicality.
And our character. And just with family strife and people and lines at the stores and just all the wonderful holiday cheer. Yeah. And we actually love Christmas. It's my favorite time
Christmas
of year.
Is great.
But it does come with its challenges. Yeah. But
I hope everybody had a wonderful time identifying the intergenerational cycles that are perpetuated through the families.
Yes.
Anyway, we're glad that you're here. If you like the podcast, you should give it a like and subscribe and tell other people about it.
Yeah. But again, this is why we're here, is to talk about what it means to be what it means to be a holy smokes. I messed myself up creating that word.
Well, we're in that weird time of year where time doesn't actually matter.
Time doesn't matter.
Words
People
probably
get
don't
sick.
matter either.
Whose line is it anyway? Where the points don't matter.
Yeah, words don't matter. We're somewhere between Christmas and New Year's when everything is just kind of a soup of existence.
That's it. That's exactly where we are.
Welcome to the Soup of Existence podcast. Yeah. That is a pretty good podcast name.
That actually is a good podcast name.
We'll tease that out.
Yeah. I told you my wife and Bridget's podcast name, right? Just Over the Line. Their job, we're keeping it on this side of the biblical line.
Yeah.
Their job is to go
Just over the line.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
They're funny about that.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Or we hope you had a wonderful Christmas and looking forward to a new year, I suppose.
Yep. All the things that come with that, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. New goals, new resolutions, new things to be looking forward to in a new year.
I'm trying something new because, resolutions, you're supposed to be resolved and you're resolute in this. But then everybody breaks them within a couple weeks. And I'm like, it should be a goal. It should be a New Year's goal. This is my goal for the year.
Yep.
Because then it doesn't matter if you fail within the first couple weeks. You can just pick it back up.
Right.
And I'm going to try something new this year called it's New Year's bingo. And so I'm going to make a bingo card of all of the different goals that I have. And I'm going to work on those goals. And every time I achieve a goal, I put a little stamp on it. And my goal is to get bingo.
That's awesome.
I know.
Takes me back to elementary days.
Yeah, I'm gaming my self-improvement.
That's a good way to do it.
And so, I'm cheating a little bit because I don't have 24 goals for the year to fill up a bingo card.
Oh yeah.
And so, I'm going to stair step it. One thing I want to do is I want to be more physically active. And so I'm going to set number of hours in the gym or number of workouts. 30-minute workouts at a gym. And so do 104 hours. That's averages out to be twice a week. That should be a pretty easy goal to achieve if I actually put work into it now.
Yep.
And I can do another one of whatever 52 times 3 is. So 3 times a week, that many workouts, or 5,000 body weight squats in the year, which is about 10 to 20 squats a day, which is nothing. But anyway, have those sprinkled throughout, and then I can work on getting bingo.
Awesome. I was working on my stuff today, and it's not. I haven't done New Year's resolutions because I have 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals, but being part of the Iron Counsel, we break it down into 12-week battle plans.
Okay.
And so then we break those down into daily tactics and weekly things and 30-day checkpoints, 60-day checkpoints, 90-day goal. So, and a lot of people use that in business and like an EOS, entrepreneurial operating system, for business structures. But yeah, that's what I was working on today, is a vision for what I want this next year to look like. That's generally how I have been breaking it down the last couple of years. Here's what I want the year to look like, or here's who I want to be at the end of the year. And then you work your way backwards. So you say, this is who I'm going to be at this time next year. And then you go, okay, how do I do that? You say, well, if I want to lift this much, well, then here's how I get to those. Here's what I need to hit in 30 days, 90 days. Yeah.
Okay.
The benchmarks. And then you do, okay, how do I hit that in 30 days? Well, if I do 2 hours a week, then I'll reach that goal. Well, how do you do that? Well, what if I do 20 minutes a day?
Yeah.
And so that's how you break it down like that. But yeah.
Okay.
Haven't really done the New Year's resolution thing in a while. It's been a lot more calculated like that. And I've seen a lot of growth in my life because of that. And I think it's a great way to do it. Is just break it down. Like you did. Like you broke it all the way down to, that's 2 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, your way, my way is still like, I don't know, flippant isn't the right answer, but it's just like gamifying it a little bit.
And that's great.
I think it's a great way to hit your
goals.
I think it's going to work. I think your way is probably the better way of doing it, of like setting an actual, how do you realize who you want to be in a year? Like, how do you come up with that vision of, I want to be this in 5 years or 1 year? Like, how do you come up with that?
So I think of who I want to be. Like say the end of next year. My vision for myself is that I am a business leader, which I haven't really been to a degree because I'm a contractor pretty much. So I don't own this business here. My RV park is not open. So what that means is I want to be a business leader. Well, how do I do that? Okay, well, I've got to, what does that look like? And a lot of what we're looking at here, we're self-controlled, we're whatever. We have all our character. And so I think to myself, what kind of character does that guy have? Well, how do you develop that? Well, what is an effective leader in business? Well, that person needs to know what's going on all the time. Okay, well, how do I do that? I say, okay, well, I'll have a meeting with my staff once a week. Well, I don't have any staff right now. Why not? Because I don't own this business. Okay, well, the first step will be I have to buy this business.
Okay.
And then I will have a staff of one,
Yeah.
and then private contractors underneath me. And so, but I need to have very specific measurable goals for the business. I need to support my staff to reach those goals. What are the goals for the business? Well, then I work backwards from that and say, okay, well, this is how many sales I want to have. This is what kind of branches of this business do I want this to be a real estate company, not just a brokerage. Well, what does that look like? Okay, well, I want to have this sector, this sector, this sector, property management, consulting, and sales.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I need people in those positions, or at least one. I need to bring on more people if I want to reach the goals I have for the year. And what I believe that person would be like. If I walked up to this person that I want to be, and what characteristics could I list out? And I think, okay, well, to have those characteristics, this person will have to be organized. Okay, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not great at organization. Okay, well, what would that mean? Well, then I have a handle on my money through the business, my personal finances, my schedule, because especially if I get this RV park up and running, there's going to be quite a bit of staff involved in that. And organization is going to be very, very important. Okay, well, what do I do? I'm not open yet. What do I do now? Okay, well, I start now with, okay, maybe every Monday I do a Gantt chart of what needs to be done that week for that business to become open. Or with Mossy Oak, how do I buy this business? Okay, well, the first thing I need to do is get a buy-sale agreement written up. Then the next thing will be, okay, then I've got to take that to the bank. and start the financial process. And then once that happens, okay, once I've got to fill out my application to Mossy Oak corporate and make sure that they will approve my name change, my business plan, all of that. They already have verbally, but I still have to do that. It's still something to check off. And so, I just try to envision what this person looks like, how they act, what kind of character they have, and I actually work back from there. So even my tenure, I have this vision of who I look like physically, who I look like to the community, like the church, to my employees and everything. And then I work backwards from that. I say, okay, well, how much time freedom do I have? I've got, I don't know, 20 hours a week that I have totally free. Well, how does that happen? Well, I have to be extraordinarily organized.
Yeah.
And have to be able to delegate well. And then you work backwards from that.
Okay.
So, I've tried the last couple of years to start with my character and who I want to be.
Yeah.
And then, there's like financial goals and stuff attached to that. But what's funny is you can tie those financial goals to character also.
Yeah.
Like at least I can. Like there's ways that you don't have to do that. I could have financial goals and go rob banks if I want to.
Sure.
To reach those. Yeah. But I don't. I tie them to business and they're very specific, but it's not because of the dollar amount. The dollar amount is not important to me. It's what it takes personally to reach that. Like what kind of character development do I have to have to reach that actual level? And then I work back from there.
Okay.
That was a really long way to say that.
No, that's good.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're looking at what do you want to be at the end of whatever time frame? So at the end of 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, whatever it is, you're not necessarily looking at yourself and what you look like. You're looking at, this is the type of person that I want to be. And you're just,
I do make it specific to me.
Yeah. But you're kind of making a character.
Yes. Character development.
You're making a, kind of like a character on a video game. Yeah. Or something. Like you're building it. It's like, okay, I want this attribute. I want this skill. I want this,
I mean, that's a great way to put it because you can do all your skins and all your outfits and weapons and stuff. But then, each weapon has a tie to like speed or damage or whatever.
And there's different stats that go with each of those.
That's correct. Yeah.
And you can't get such and so skill without developing, or you can't get such and so weapon without developing such and so skill.
Yes, that is correct.
So it's just you're building a character, and then you compare the character that you want to be based on to where you're at now. Yeah. And then you build your plan to get to that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. Because I've always been like, okay, like where am I now? Like whenever I look at goals and resolutions and whatnot, it's always been, okay, I can assess where I am now, but then I don't know what I want to do. Like I want to fix this about me. I want to fix this. And like I can see all the areas that I'm lacking and I want to improve in. I want to reach this weight in lifting. I want to lose this much weight, and I want to do this and this. But it's never been like there's never been a goal that couldn't be achieved in 3 to 6 months, usually. Much less 5 or 10 years of but I think that's what we should be looking at. We should have an aspect of like forward thinking and looking at, okay, well, in 10 years, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? And not just, and some of it is like what I want to be doing as a profession, but also like what kind of man do I want to be?
Right.
Because we've talked about being very intentional.
Yep.
And like who we are as an adult, as an adult is what we start doing as a kid. And that didn't say that very well. Well, it's planting the seeds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that a lot. It's planting a seed now and then cultivating it and working it to get it to grow to where we want it to be.
Yep.
But if you don't know where you want to be, then like you don't know how to. It's hard to know what to do now to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, it is, and I struggled with it for a really long time. And some of my friends have helped me with this. My mentors, a lot of trial and error. I've been part of the Iron Counsel for 5 years now, so I've done. What was that? 20 battle plans. And so it gets easier. My first one was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
It's like I had no idea what I was doing. And then, but you get feedback from people too. And so it's being intentional about it. And I think it's a mistake to just go, you know what? I just want to be a millionaire by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, okay, that's great. But I think it's really important to maybe focus on like we call them 4 quadrants. And a simple way to put it is one is financial. One is physical, so health. One is familial, relational, family or friends. And the other one is like, how do you contribute to the world?
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, your physical health, financial health, your relational health, and then your outward community reach.
So is Iron Counsel just like a local thing, or is it something that you found online that you can join? Or?
So Ryan Mickler runs the Order of Man podcast, and he's the founder of the Iron Counsel. It's worldwide. I don't remember how many members we have now, or how many battle teams we have. It changes a lot, but it's quite a few thousand guys, or a couple thousand anyway. And we're split up. We're all over the world. Like we've had guys on our team from Australia, the UK, Hawaii, Canada. We got like 5 guys on our team from Canada, and all over the U.S., West Coast, East Coast, Northeast, Midwest, South, all over. And it's pretty much rooted in that we want to be better men. We want to be better husbands, fathers. We want to be more successful in business. We want to be better contributing members to society. That's pretty much the root of it. So we just want to be better men, which is exactly what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of overlap here. And I would love to have some guys from the Iron Counsel on this podcast one day.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great to get Ryan on here if he would. And some of the other guys that have had a lot of influence on my life from that.
Okay. I assume that's something that you need when if you were to join Iron Counsel, you would need to, you would be put in a group? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're put on a battle team.
Okay.
And you have choice. Like you're not just put on one.
Yeah.
You choose which one. And it's based on call times. Like we have a call every Monday night at 9.
Okay.
My team does. And and then others, it just depends. Like, because guys are located all over the world. So call times totally differ. Some of them overlap, some don't. And you meet once a week that way. There's a Friday call with the entire Iron Counsel that's open to everybody on the Iron Counsel. And so you get to see a lot more guys that are just on your team and hear from people.
Like a Zoom call?
Yeah, that's all over Zoom.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And you also choose teams based on your alliance or your alliance with their values and morals and what you need. Like some are very military type. So they're very much, you get up at this time every day. If you don't hit your goals, we're going to like rag you for it.
Yeah.
And then there's other teams that like couldn't care less what you do kind of deal. And we try to stay away from those and weed those out pretty much because it's important. You know, this is an important intentional thing and you don't want it to be just completely flippant and not a priority of any kind, because then it's not meaningful. Yeah. And so, but yeah, you can get on a team where accountability is everything. You get on a team where fitness is everything, marriage is everything, faith is everything, or teams that are just all around. Yeah. And of course, the all around is where I lean in most most teams lean because we're trying to be well-rounded
Yeah.
individuals.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, you've mentioned Iron Counsel in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been curious at if that was just something that you found here in Central Arkansas, if that was...
Nope.
It's a global thing.
No, very global.
All right, cool.
Yep.
It's not an advertisement. Ryan has no idea we're talking about him, but...
No, probably not. It's okay.
You don't
I
think
call
he
him
listens?
my friend.
You don't think he listens to the podcast?
No.
You should ask him.
I will. I'll
Send him
tell
an
him.
email.
I don't even know if he knows. No, he knows I run it.
Okay.
Because he likes our posts sometimes.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yep.
Good time listener, Ryan Mickler.
Mickler.
Yeah, good time listener.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
All right.
What about your follow-up for this last year? For your resolutions? What worked? So we call it an after-action review.
Okay.
In the Iron Counsel. And that's a military term and all that. Mm-hmm. So it's not just Iron Counsel. But you kind of reflect on the last year and what goals you had and what you didn't hit and why.
Okay.
And just encourage everybody to maybe do one of those. Going into the new year and listening to the podcast, maybe do an after action review, see if they've implemented anything we've talked about, or if they find themselves in a better or worse position than they were in earlier in the year.
Are you talking about specifically my last year?
Yeah.
Or, I feel like I've had all of my goals have been kind of ambiguous of like, well, I want to do, and this might be a time to put in a parenthetical discussion about what a SMART plan is.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about. That's actually what the battle plan is based on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a SMART plan, SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Yep.
And you have been talking about that, but this, so a specific, it can't just be, I want to make more money this year. Okay. Well, or I want to get healthier. Okay. Well, what
be a better man.
Be a better man.
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
And that's why I broke it down and say, okay, well, if I'm this type of leader, well, then I should be making this much money.
Yeah.
Or this business should be making this much money.
Yeah.
Or I should be this fit in lifting this amount of weights. And so you break the vague down into specific and measurable.
It's not just, I want to be healthier. It's like, okay, what does that actually look like?
Yeah. Yeah. The goal is to be healthier, but you need to make those measurable, specific goals, or else then it's just all vague.
Yeah. And then it does need to be able to be measured.
Yes. And just, I forget what the principle is called, but if you have a year to do something, it'll take you, you'll do it probably the last day.
Yeah.
Like whatever that is. It's just like, I've experienced it all through college, right?
Yeah.
I got 3 weeks to do a final project and I do it 2 days before.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
what's the point of having the year to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to say that is if you give yourself all year, like you're probably not going to reach your actual year-end goal.
Yeah.
Like if you say, well, I want to be healthier, and you say, well, what does that mean? And then I weigh this much. Well, you could go 10 months going, well, your weight didn't change. And then you freak out in the next 2 months, you develop unhealthy habits to
make weight.
Yeah, to make the weight. And so what you want to do is break it down into measurable time, like what you talked about in the SMART analogy.
Well, it needs measurable it can't just be like, it can't be ambiguous. Measurable, I think, is tied to specific, like a specific goal that can actually be measured.
Right.
So like, I want to be a better man. Okay. Well, what aspect? Well, I want to be temperate. Okay. Well, how are you going to measure being more temperate with someone? It's like, okay, well, and I don't know how you would measure that. How do you measure being more temperate with someone?
So one way to create measurable goals is actually before you start in on your goals, is to track your life. So say you lose your temper often and you know it.
Yeah.
We'll start tracking it.
Okay.
Say, okay, starting today, January 1st. It's not January 1st, by the way, today.
No.
But anyway, it doesn't matter what time of year it is or anything. Say 2 weeks, I'm going to measure how many times I lose my temper a day or a week.
Okay.
And then you say, at the end of that, if you're honest with yourself, you go, wow, I lost my temper 12 times this week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you have a measurable thing.
Yeah.
And you get, okay, well, at the end of the year, I want to have only had that happen this many times. You got to be realistic too.
Yeah.
They can't be, well, I want to have never lost my temper all year.
Yeah.
Well, that's not
it
realistic.
Needs to be achievable is the
it
next
needs
thing.
to be achievable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you say, okay, well, how many times a week does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, that means you only lost it 6 times a week.
Yeah.
Instead of 12.
Even
well,
10 times is
now
improvement.
It's specific and measurable.
Yeah. Okay.
And so actually that 2-week block or so of measuring, you do it with calories. You can do it with weight, how many times you run, how many books you read or pages you've read of nonfiction, or how many times did you look at your bank account or your finances, or how many hours a day or minutes a day did you spend with your children or your wife? Take that. There's your baseline. You got to have a baseline or you really don't have a measurable.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I knew a guy, I worked with a guy once for New Year's. We were talking about resolutions. I'm like, what's yours? He goes, I'm going to eat half as much dessert. I'm like, well, how are you going to measure that? He goes, I'll know. It's like,
yeah, that's where this would be perfect.
Yeah.
You say, how many times did you eat dessert this week?
It's like, do you know how much you eat? He says, no. I'm like, then how are you going to, he's like, I'm just going to eat half as much. I'm like, how are you going to do that? He's like, well, I figure I eat dessert about 4 or 5 times a week. So instead I'm going to cut it down to like 2 or 3 times a week. It's like, that's I'm just baffled.
The problem with that is you can do that, but the problem is generally we under or overestimate in our favor.
Yeah. And it's real easy to massage the numbers and justify
That's exactly
the numbers.
right. Yeah. Yeah, because you could say, well, I usually eat it 8 times, when really you don't. And maybe you only normally eat 4.
Yeah.
But you've overestimated. You're like, you know what, I'm going to cut it to 6. Yeah. Well, now you just actually upped your desserts.
You upped it. Yeah. The next one is, we talked about achievable just then. Relevant is the other one.
Yes. And it does need to be relevant because it doesn't make sense for me to go, you know what? I'm going to have my thoroughbred horse run under such and such time in the quarter mile.
Yeah.
I don't have a thoroughbred horse for one, and I'm not a jockey. And it doesn't contribute to my life in any way. I don't do any of that right now. So it's not relevant in any way, shape, or form. Or to say, you know what, I'm not gonna read People magazine any this year.
Yeah.
You know when the last time I read a People magazine is? Probably when I was in the bathroom in high school.
I don't know if I've ever read, other than the cover, I've never read People magazine.
That's what I mean. It's like it was probably my mom's, and I'm in the bathroom and before cell phones.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant.
It has to be relevant to who you are and where you want to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna smoke any crack this year.
I hope you don't, Logan.
It's not relevant because I don't.
It's
anyway.
Still a good goal.
That is a good goal, I guess.
And then
you can cut that out.
Then time bound.
That's what I meant earlier was time bound. Is it's better to break it up into like a 12-week thing or a 1-week thing instead of 1 year. Because say, okay, well, I want to lose 60 pounds this year. Okay, well, you really want to break that down into monthly measurables.
Yeah.
Instead of get to December and not lost any of it and decide you're going to go on diet pills and flushes and all kinds of stuff to lose the weight at the end of the year.
Because the goal would be not to lose the weight, but to be a healthier person.
Right. That's exactly right.
You can lose 60 pounds in a hurry. That's no problem. Right. But if you don't have, there was a show back in the early 2000s called The Biggest Loser, where they'd get these morbidly obese individuals on there, and they'd go through like a month-long crash course on like healthy eating and exercise, and then they would try to they're competing to see who could lose the most weight. And then the person at the end, they'd show the before and after picture, and it was like remarkable to see, and they had personal trainers and all that. But I'm pretty sure every single one of the people that was on that show and lost like 200 pounds or whatever gained it back.
It wasn't sustainable.
because it was a crash course. It was like,
Right.
okay, how quick can we lose this weight? That's great. You did lose weight, and your measurables are healthier now, but we never addressed the root problem of how did you gain that weight in the first place?
Right.
How did you get to that point?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of it is psychological and emotional, and you have to address that. It's kind of like looking at relationships. It's kind of like we don't treat Valentine's Day as a super special day. Like, we'll try to go on a date because that's a cultural norm, but like, we don't try to save our relationship on Valentine's Day.
Right. Yeah. That's a great example.
We don't try to save our relationship on our anniversary. Like, we take those days seriously because, but like every day I'm trying to not maintain, but I'm trying to invest in my relationship. And if you're investing in your relationship with your spouse every single day, then Valentine's Day and anniversary and birthday, they're not as important to either of you, because you see the dedication and the commitment and the investment throughout the year, not just on those days. And I've known several people that have tried to save their marriage on one of those high holidays, relationship high holidays, and it never works out for them, because it gets to a point where they're just like, they realize the lack of investment. So anyway, all of that to say, that's what a smart, that's what Google and all the, like, what do they call it? Who came up with that? You know, the SMART goal framework is what they call it.
I don't know who came up with that. I've heard it for a long time now.
But that's what we're talking about. And that's what the Logan was talking about with the Iron Counsel, is like, you have to have it measurable, and you have to figure out, okay, where do you want to be? And then you have to break that down.
Yep.
I think it's important to say, like, there's I've seen two paradigms on this, on doing things. Like, if you're not going to do it right, why would you do it at all? Or you shouldn't do it at all. And also, if it's worth doing halfway. And like, those seem to be at odds, but it takes some wisdom to decipher which one is which. So like, building a deck. If you're building a deck, if you're not going to do it right, don't do it. Or not even a deck. If you're building a house, if you're not going to do it right, don't build a house. Because if you don't do it right, the house is going to collapse and potentially hurt or kill someone. So if you're not going to do it right, don't do it. But there are other things like, okay, I want to lose 60 pounds this year. Well, if you only lose 30 pounds, well, you didn't achieve your goal. But losing 30 pounds is still better than losing none.
Yeah. If
you're at a point where you need to lose 60 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are certain things, like, if you're going to do it, if you're not going to do it right, don't do it, is not the same as if it's worth doing it halfway. I don't know if that sentence made sense.
If it's worth doing halfway?
Yeah. So like, if it's worth, like, if I'm at a point in my life, right now I should probably lose about 30 pounds, because I hide it well, but I'm holding about 30 pounds that I shouldn't be holding.
Really?
It's about.
I wouldn't know that.
I know, I hide it really well. I wear slightly loose baggy shirts, and like this hoodie helps. But I mean, so body fat percentage, we can deal with that. I can lose 10 to 15.
That's measurable.
Yeah, it's percentage of body fat.
It has to
potentially be more. I haven't actually measured, so I know I can lose at least 10. It might be closer to 20, but if I need to, we'll just say 10. So if I need to lose 10% body fat, 10 percentage points of body fat, how do I measure that?
Sure.
I need to go from this anyway. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing halfway. So like, maybe, like, it is worth me losing the body fat to be a healthier person. And if at the end of my time-bound, my timeline, my goal, what word am I thinking?
Your timeline?
Timeline?
Yeah.
Just timeline?
Yeah.
Okay. If at the end of my timeline, I've only lost 8% or even 2 or 4%, like, if I haven't met my goal of 10%, if I've lost some of it, then I'm still in better shape than I was before that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that doesn't always, that philosophy or paradigm of if it's worth doing halfway doesn't always work, because there are some things that you need to do it right the first time, or else you have to do it right again.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm trying to say with this is, as you're measuring this, improvement is still progress.
Yes. 100%.
Because I imagine as you approach your 10-year goal, you create a new goal, right?
Yes.
And is that because by the end of the 10 years, if you've met your goal, well, there's always room for improvement.
Well, what's amazing is I have found that creating these, especially from my first battle plan ever to now, is my limited thinking gets expanded tremendously. It's my limited thinking about my potential. When I first started and created the first one, I had they weren't low goals, but they weren't anywhere close to my potential.
Mm-hmm.
And it was partly because of what I thought of myself, how I looked at myself, what I thought of my own abilities and all of that. And so, but once you start building on those battle plans and hitting your goals, your brain opens up to actual possibilities of what could possibly really happen.
Yeah.
And you think, well, wow, I never even thought of that this was even possible. First of all, I created goals that were high enough that I didn't think they were possible anyway, because that's what you're supposed to do. Your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goals. That's a term used in business a lot, is a big, hairy, audacious goal. And it's something that you today don't believe is possible, but you believe could be possible one day in the future after lots and lots of work. Yeah. It's a goal that scares you because you have no idea how you would hit it. Well, it's incredible that as soon as you hit it, that it's like a ceiling that's just busted all to pieces.
Yeah.
And your mind can go so much further. And because that first battle plan, I wasn't capable of creating the goals I have now. I really wasn't. My mind was not capable of that because I had not stretched it far enough. And just like I didn't believe that I would ever break 400 on deadlift. Well, I did it last year. I've done it now. Well, it was a huge ceiling that I couldn't break through. Well, I did. And so now my goal is 500.
Nice.
And I think it's possible. And whereas 400 just seemed impossible. It's amazing. The higher you go, the more possible things look. And the more realization you have is that none of this stuff is impossible. It feels impossible.
Yeah.
But almost none of it is actually impossible. Rocket science, I like to say this now, I don't know, I guess I made it up. Nothing is rocket science except rocket science. And like that means everything is figure outable. Yeah. That's my term, by the way. I created that.
I like it.
Everything is figure outable. Like the RV park, I didn't believe it was possible a couple of years ago. I didn't have the finances. I didn't believe anyone believed in me enough to give me a loan to create the construction. Anyone believed in me enough to even hire on as my engineers or construction guys. And it's going to be completed hopefully in the next 4 months. And then I think, well, what's beyond that? Because to me, owning this office and having an RV park was the limit of my ability. But now I don't believe that. I believe it goes way, way further than that. It's incredible how reaching goals can open your mind up to more possibilities. Yeah. And it's just stretching your mind. And I was not capable of hitting the goals now. And that's because, just like a kid is not capable of graduating college. A 10-year-old kid, they're not capable at all because they're 10. Yeah. They have no idea what they're doing. They're learning. And so it's just like graduating through the grades and getting up till you become, an employee or businessman or whatever, woman, it doesn't matter. Yeah. As you learn, you reach new goals, you push new boundaries, you reach new levels, and then you're able to keep going more and more and more. Yeah. I think it's really, really really important.
I agree.
And I'd like to read my battle plan from last January, if you're good with that.
Sure. We'll close out with this probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is for everybody. I'm going to just read y'all my battle plan. It starts with a vision of who I wanted to be at the end of 2025. And then it goes through it's called the 4 quadrants. What we call them in the Iron Counsel is calibration, connection, condition, and contribution. And I'll break those down. But I'll start with my vision just to give y'all an idea of what y'all can, if you want to do this, just go right ahead. I mean, I don't care. I'd be happy to send you a template of this too if y'all wanted to write in and ask for it if you want to try this stuff. This is just how we do it, and this is one version of millions that are out there. But my vision, how I word it, and what it says. This was January of 2025. I will walk daily with the Lord. I am in his word every day. I've become a useful member of our church by volunteering my time where I can be helpful. My relationship with Cindy is deep and strong and fun. I make it a priority to spend quality one-on-one time with her every day without distractions. I lead her and our family in our walk with the Lord. I ask her daily about her hopes, dreams, fears, and wishes. She knows I am by her side, not walking in front of or behind her. My relationship with Carly, Joshua, and Nate is deep and strong. I make it a point to spend one-on-one time with each of them weekly. I make sure to spend time doing something they love and are interested in, and not just what I want to do or what I think we should do. I show Carly how she should be treated by men and how I treat her mom. I show my boys how to treat women by how I treat their mom and their sister. I teach them all life skills as often as possible. I lead them by example and how to walk in faith and truth. I'm a man I see in my vision. I lead by example in church and in my community. I do what I say. My word is true. I am expanding my reach to help others in their own struggles in business, relational, faith, by growing in my speaking ability and my teaching ability. I share my life with others so that they will know that they are not alone in their own struggles. I step into the role that God has called me to be, all while continuing to figure out what that is. My friends and my family can count on me when they need help, a helping hand. They can call on me when they need someone who cares about them, need someone to listen to who cares about them and what they're going through. I respect myself enough to know when to say no. I constantly try to improve my health, both physical and mental, by doing the healthy things I ought to. Going to the gym, talking to others about my struggles, sharing life with other men. As we are not meant to go alone, daily Bible reading, and having accountability partners. So that's my vision for the end of 2025. You see, it's mostly built on character and what I see myself. And I also do it in a present tense voice. I say I am instead of I hope to be, because I want to speak from positivity, and that mindset of, well, I'm going to be this.
Yeah.
And so I break it down into calibration. This is a 12-week battle plan. This is not my 1 year. This is January for 12 weeks of the beginning of 2025. Calibration quadrant is how do I calibrate my mind and my mentality. So by doing that, I will read 3 books. I will also record 16 episodes of our new podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. And then connection is I will call a family member 2 nights a week. I have failed at that miserably for 3 years. And so that continues to be but that could be anything from, that's your connection. So your connection with other people, that could be anything from calling or talking to a friend. That could be, spending time with your kids, with your wife, whatever it is. These are the high level, 3 books, 16 episodes of a podcast, call a family member twice a week, whatever it could be, go on a date night once a week with my wife. Well, that's kind of become habit type stuff. And so that's another thing. As you go through these plans and your goals and battle plans, whatever you want to call them, you get to change these. It's a living document because hopefully some of these things become habits. So like my daily Bible reading is not part of my calibration quadrant anymore because that's just something I do now. When I first started, I hadn't read the Bible through ever.
Yeah.
And so that was a really important one for me. I'm going to set this aside the time every day to do this. Well, now it's not an issue. And so really it's not a relevant one anymore, right? It's not a relevant goal because I already do it. Going to the gym is not really a relevant goal. And that's actually my next one is condition. Complete a 16-week mountain tough program. Well, I've been doing that for a year and a half now. And so that one's not really relevant. So I need to change that one a little bit, probably to diet now, because going to the gym is not an issue. It's not something I need to be talked into, forced into, shamed into. I just do it now. That's part of my daily deal. Contribution could be, you want to make this much money. You want to get a promotion. You want to start this business, whatever it is. Mine was complete phase 1 of RV park construction and start cash flowing 2 properties in Texas. The cash flowing properties in Texas has not happened. The phase 1 of construction did happen. And then I break it down at why are these important to me? Because we need to know our why is very important. Is they will grow my knowledge and understanding of what I need to change in myself to be the man I want to become. It will give me the life, energy, and strength I need to do the things I love and the physical work I need to be able to do to take care of my home and property. It will give me confidence in myself and my abilities. I am not my own, and I should serve where I'm able. My relationships will all deepen as a result of the work I put in. And then you break it down and say, what could hinder me from completing these things? We need to be realistic about what are the struggles that we could face. Because if we just go into it not thinking about that stuff, then when they pop up, they're surprises and we don't know how to handle them. But if we go into it as they're known, we can create contingency plans for what is going to happen. And so mine were lack of discipline and overextending myself with travel and work and a knee injury that I have not taken care of. I got it taken care of in August. My goal was to actually have it completed before summer of last year, and I didn't do it based on a lot of reasons. One were trips that I couldn't afford to take off, like hunts and stuff like that, other things that I did that I couldn't afford to be out physically. And then I really break it down into my battle plan. I break it down into, how am I going to handle those? And so I'll ask for help from others around me. I will remind myself why I'm doing this and why I want to be better and what my end goals are. And I will push through my selfishness and sabotaging habits. And how will I celebrate? I actually didn't put anything down because I didn't have anything at that moment. I have something new. But sometimes that can be, we want to reward ourselves for these goals. Like say it's a health goal. How are you going to reward yourself? Well, you're going to go on a beach vacation and take your shirt off. I don't know. Or you're going to, you've cut this many calories in the year. You're going to have your favorite meal. Because it doesn't matter really how many calories for that one meal now. You've done a whole year. You're not going to ruin your body with one meal, right?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. I mean, so like one year I was going to go on a camping trip by myself. That was my reward to myself. And so then you break down your objectives, your calibration tactic. All right. So my calibration was read 3 books, do 16 podcasts. And so what is my primary tactic? I'm going to join a group Bible plan every morning between gym and workout. I'm going to read or listen to 30 minutes of an audiobook every day and 10 pages of read or listen to 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day. So that would get me through, because even if I'm not physically able to read, I believe audiobooks are very useful and important. I don't believe we should 100% rely on that for our learning and knowledge. I think physical reading is great, but we're all different learners, right? I'm very visual. So a physical book is very important to me mentally, and like it stimulates me well. Whereas audio, I have a hearing problem. So audio is just automatically, naturally to me, not as effective as a learning tool. And then I have a 30-day checkpoint and a 60-day checkpoint. So like I had one book of the 3, I had one that I specifically wanted to read. So I said at 30 days, I will have read this one. And then at 60 days, I will have read this one. And connection. So moving on to calling my family members, plan one phone call every other day with a different family member, or text the family member the second I think about them. I did do a better job of texting people when I thought about them. My phone calls are horrible. We have talked about it on this podcast before. My aversion to using a phone to call people is a huge problem in my life. And I'm still working on it and have accountability with my battle team over this all the time. And breaking down the conditioning. Okay, I will complete 16-week Mountain Tough program. So my primary tactic is go to the gym 5 days a week, early in the morning or at lunch. And then that's it. So my secondary tactic is, so like your primary tactic, generally you want to have one or two tactics. So your primary is, okay, I got up this morning and went to the gym. Well, some days that doesn't work. What if you're up with a kid sick all night?
Yeah.
What if you had to get up early to be ready for a presentation at work? Okay, what's your secondary tactic? Well, you can't just abandon your entire goal just because it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Like, let's plan and be intentional. So let's have a secondary. Okay, well, I'll go at lunch break. Even if I have to shorten my workout, I got to the gym. Because everything compounds,
Yeah.
It's not just, and that's why it's so important to do this over time and break it down into time periods, because it all compounds. Instead of trying to lose all the weight at the end of the year, you're not any healthier. You're just lighter.
Yeah.
That's it. Whereas if you compound it and you accidentally only made 20 minutes a day instead of an hour and a half, that's a lot of time that you spend in the gym over the year.
Yeah.
And you're way ahead of not ever doing it.
Yeah.
And then you continue to break that down. 30-day checkpoint, 60-day checkpoint. Contribution was receive my broker's license. And so I had to retake the broker's test because that was part of some of this stuff isn't right. Because it was supposed to be complete RV park construction and cash flow to properties, and being a broker had nothing to do with either of those. So for some reason, my broker piece of that got removed or not saved, maybe. And so part of my construction, because it's in this, but it's not in the piece up top. So part of my contribution was to start making my way towards buying this office. Well, to do that, I have to be a broker. Well, I had missed one of the deadlines on my dang broker deal. And so I'd taken the course, taken the test, and missed the deadline to actually turn all my paperwork in without knowing it. I got the dates mixed up and messed up big time. So my next contribution tactic was to receive my broker's license by retaking the broker's test and sending in an application, retaking the course. Then start phase 1 of RV park construction meant closing my loan and doing all my clearing. So I had to complete the course. This is my primary tactic, was completing my broker's course, sending off all my paperwork and fingerprints because you got to do background checks. And then closing my loan, a daily construction planning for clearing and then roads and all of that. And starting the finance and due diligence process. So that's kind of how we broke it down. And then I had 30 days and 60-day quadrants. So, having my course completed, having my paperwork ready to go, having the loan closed, and then 60 days would actually starting construction and clearing. So you break it down into all of those daily tactics. But that's a general breakdown, and it's a horrible, super fast breakdown of what a 12-week battle plan looks like. It starts with your vision. You break it down into measurable quadrants and things that are important and relevant. And then you break them down into measurables from there. And then daily, you go from 60 days, go to 30 days, weekly, daily. That way it's all very measurable. And you don't just wake up one day going, I haven't done anything this year.
Yeah.
It's every day. And you got to be intentional about it and disciplined with it, or else it doesn't matter. If you could go through all the trouble of creating this every quarter and never do any of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what good that's going to do you.
I still look back at like my mid 20s, most of my 20s, and because I wasn't intentional and I didn't have a plan, like an actionable plan. I just had these ambiguous goals. And I'm just like, man, I squandered a lot of time in my life.
I think most of us are like that.
I think so.
I 100% did that.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Like I'm 40 and constantly think about all the time I wasted in blocks of time in my life where I don't remember what happened. Like I remember certain moments, but I'm like, what did I do? I don't know what I did that contributed to anything.
Yeah.
And some of it is just you're caught up being a young dad and stuff like that and trying to figure out what your place is in this world. But then a lot of it's just not being intentional, not being truly present in what you're doing and having anything to work towards.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else?
If anybody wants an outline for something like this, there's a ton of them online. ChatGPT can help you write one up, no problem. But I'd be happy to send anybody a template if you write into us and, request it. I'd be happy to send it to you and even talk to you about it over the phone. If you want, I've been doing it for 5 years. I've done 20 of them and I'm not perfect at it, but I've gotten way, way better than I was at the beginning and very much on my way to meeting a lot of my 10-year goals, which I have written down in my office.
Cool. Well, thank you for listening to the Staying Like Men podcast, this very timely and topical episode on, I don't like the term resolution because I think the culture has established it as a way to break it soon.
It is.
As our goals and as we become the men that God wants us to be. But we're using this culturally appropriate timing to discuss that. I think that's probably fine. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, send them to stayinglikemen@gmail.com.
Our verse is 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14.
Be watchful.
Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong.
Let all that you do be done in love.